Let's bring in John Yoo, former Deputy Assistant Attorney General and law professor at UC Berkeley. John, great to have you with us. So when you hear these comments that were reported by the Federalist from Judge Boasberg, he's with these, with the other judges, including justices of the Supreme Court, and they're talking at a conference, and he's suggesting, it sounds like, hey guys, are you concerned that this president is going to push us to a constitutional crisis by ignoring our orders? How does that sit with you?
Martha, I'm really disturbed by the reported comments. Look, I'm not one to focus on an individual judge and say they ought to be impeached, as the president has said with Judge Boasberg, or to infer some kind of nefarious motives. But what he did here was really inappropriate. And I think it's worse than what the media has been reporting so far. As you set out in your introduction, Martha, this judge has been wrong on so many issues involving Trump, going back to the FISA court investigation into the Russia hoax. And then I think he was overturned by the Supreme Court about the Alien Enemies Act and the deportation of Venezuelan gangs. And now he's got the Signal Gate case before him. He's actually considering right now whether to sanction, hold in contempt of court some Trump administration officials, even including Mr. Bove. Look, you can decide all those on the merits. But what he tried to do here, I think, is he tried to use an inappropriate setting. This meeting, this conference you're talking about, is one where judges get together and decide, do we need more guards at the X-ray machine? Where should we put different courtrooms? They don't discuss substantive issues. The only place you discuss substantive issues is in the opinions themselves. So here, Judge Boasberg uses this kind of meeting to try to get the Chief Justice of the United States to give his opinion on whether there's a constitutional crisis between the courts and the presidency. It's almost like he's trying to entrap the Chief Justice of the United States and get him on the record to join him, to almost approve what he's doing to spark this fight with President Trump. Is wholly inappropriate and outside the judicial role.
Interesting reaction. And, according to that Federalist reporting, Chief Justice Roberts said, he didn't think this was coming to a constitutional crisis, or he hoped it wouldn't. It sounded like he sort of tried to, cut off the conversation with just sort of a general comment of lack of concern, I guess, if it's fair to characterize it that way. It also just strikes me when you look at the long list of things that this judge, Boasberg, has had on his plate. He pretty much has handled so many of these Trump issues, although I know they say they're randomly assigned. He seems to really get a lot of these coming across his desk for whatever reason. I do want to ask you about the firing of Maureen Comey, who has handled a lot of these sexual assault, sexual harassment cases. And I want to get your reactions because I know Andy McCarthy was not happy with this decision from the Department of Justice to fire Maureen Comey. And he said at the tail end of his comment, President Trump has the constitutional authority to do it, but I think it stinks. So what do you think of the firing of Maureen Comey?
This is not going to be one of those issues where I ever disagree with Andy. He knows, like I do, how the Justice Department works. You don't go down as the president usually and reach down all the way into the front lines and pick and choose which assistant U.S. attorneys are going to represent the government. I totally get why President Trump doesn't trust her. If he believes what he says about Comey, how he cooked up the Russia hoax, how he wrote, remember, Comey did, not the daughter, but the father. Remember, he tried to entrap President Trump into perjury and then ran back to his car and typed up on his laptop and hid documents with friends claiming that President Trump had committed perjury. I could see why he lacks faith in her, but I don't think it's appropriate maybe to fire her. I would just, maybe reassign her to the U.S. Attorney's Office in Alaska.
Okay. John Yoo, thank you very much. Good to get your reaction to all of those really high-level court stories today. Thank you, John.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.